So I wanted to just make a quick update on my video about traveling tips and sitting for long periods of time. So I am here in Vancouver Island. This is Long Beach, and this beach is really long. Like, check out how wide and long this beach is. It's so beautiful here. A ton of activities, but the water is so cold, like you can't even, it's like freezing cold. So I've been just kind of dipping my feet in, but aside from the surfers, actually not many people are swimming here. So I wanted to give some tips about traveling and also driving for long periods of time and things that you can do to avoid hip tightness and lower back pain. So the very first thing that I wanted to say is that we actually drove for 24 hours to get here, and then we've been driving from one area to another throughout the day. So we've been doing a lot of driving, and I have to say that I have been pretty nervous about it because I wasn't sure like how much my hips can take, and this is honestly the longest period of time that I've driven since, you know, my history with hip and piriformis syndrome. So I was definitely nervous, but I wasn't really sure if this was gonna trigger any pain. And there were some really important key tips and steps that I wanted to share with you in case driving causes you back pain. And I know that for so many people it does. Sitting mostly triggers piriformis syndrome for a lot of people, and driving specifically I know also causes pain. And one of the main reasons is that when we are driving, we are right leg dominant. So we're using more of our right leg to drive. So as we're using our right leg so much, we're working our hip flexors on the right leg more than the left leg. And that causes overactivity on the right hip flexors. So that's why a lot of people who drive a lot or who use a lot of one leg over the other, they would end up with, you know, what seems like one leg is longer than the other. But usually it's because of the muscle tightness, and it pulls the leg up higher and it causes that imbalance. So it's very important to be aware of that, especially if you are driving and using a lot of your right leg, so that when you're done driving, you can do some release on your right leg, some stretches to release the hip flexors. And just so you know, it's okay to work more on your right side if it feels tighter and if it works more. You have to do both legs, but the right side, it's okay to work on that a little more just because there's more activity there. So whenever you have to drive for long periods of time, especially if it's like a road trip, bring your tools with you. I came here with my foam roller, my massage ball. I brought my resistance bands as well. So whenever we have to stop for the night anywhere, I have to foam roll my hip flexors. I foam roll the TFL, and I use the massage ball on the QL muscle because I noticed that when I'm sitting on the passenger seat, I'm kind of side bending, and I know that a lot of people, they tend to do that. So you're gonna like side bending. So that repetitive movement can cause the right QL muscle to tighten up. And when that happens, then it causes lower back pain, which can radiate down the glutes. And actually just yesterday, I noticed that happening. I started noticing some glute tightness. And then when I started to use the massage ball on the right QL, I felt that it was really, really tight, more than the left side. And I noticed, I was aware of that pattern that I was doing in the car, just sitting and kind of lying to the side. And I fixed that today. The other thing also that has been so helpful is the lumbar support that I have. And whenever you have, you know, a lot of cars, even though they may say that they come with lumbar support, but sometimes it's just not enough. So I always bring my lumbar support with me, or also like a thick pillow made of foam will do also. But make sure to place it behind the arch, not too low when it's on literally like behind on the lumbar area. So it's supposed to be support to the lumbar area, but not press on it. So make sure that it's not too low. And a great trick also that I've been using is to just drink a ton of liquids and water throughout the trip, you know, because that forces you to stop and get out of the car to go to the bathroom and, you know, walk around and stretch out your legs, because it's very important to keep that movement in. No matter, you know, what you're doing, it's really important to keep moving. And you know, that was just something that I've been kind of doing on purpose, so that I can get out of the car and get that 5-minute break to stretch out my legs and walk around. And when you get out of the car, what you want to do is, as you're walking, with each step, when you extend the back leg, make sure that you contract your glutes so that you activate and you engage your glutes. And also to take deep belly breath to engage your core. So as you're walking, you're taking deep belly breaths, you're expanding your core, and with each step, you extend the back leg and then you contract your glutes. So that's something that you can do to make sure that you keep your stabilizers active when you are driving and sitting, because as you know, when we are sitting, we're being sedentary, those stabilizer muscles, they shut off immediately. So we have to engage them, you know, at each opportunity that we have. And that has been a really good trick that I've been using, you know, throughout this road trip. You know, get out of the car and just, you know, work those glutes and work on those glute contractions and deep belly breath and some bracing as well. And then at the end of the day, I always make sure to do the bird dog exercise and bridges as well. I noticed that when I do the bird dog exercise, that any lower back tension that I built up, it just, you know, fades away immediately. You just have to make sure to do it right. So good quality repetitions, and making sure that you don't rush through the exercise, and breathe deeply and engage your core and your glutes at the same time. And also, you don't have to lift your leg so high up. You just need to create that straight line as much as you can with your arm and your leg. Such a beautiful beach. I've been walking here. We've been actually coming here for walks. Just one thing I want to mention, the sand is really, really hard, and it's probably okay, you know, for most people, but I want to mention that since I broke my toe, I've been working on my right ankle mobility, and I have to say that the hard sand has been a little bit hard on my right leg. So I'm actually wearing shoes this time. You know, it's like walking is such a great exercise, but you also have to make sure to protect your joints. And since my injury on my toe injury, you know, things haven't really been 100% yet. Like, I'm just still working on the mobility and strengthening, and I haven't actually done any physiotherapy after the injury. I've been kind of just doing my own thing, and it's been working, it's been going well. I haven't had any pain or any, you know, recurrent injuries or anything. But I noticed that when I'm walking on hard sand or hard ground, that it's a little bit rough on my right ankle, and I could feel it. But I just love being on the beach. It's just beautiful here. The water is cold, but it doesn't really matter. In terms of nutrition, I've been, you know, putting a lot of effort into eating healthy as much as possible, because when you're traveling, you know, you tend to just eat fast food and stuff. But I've been just sticking to salads here and seafood, grilled chicken. We did get groceries, so we've been making breakfast in the morning. Just same thing, you know, omelets and scrambled eggs, avocados, and, you know, so I've kind of been eating the same as home, but sometimes we would go out and eat out. But it would always be something healthy, like a salad and a side grilled chicken or seafood. I've been doing also workouts, like just short workouts from the Back Bay Boot Camp, actually, just short routines to activate and engage the glutes and the core. And I've been just doing some body weight exercises as well with bands, and it's been really good. In terms of cardio, I've been just doing kind of walks every day. And at the end of the day, of course, I have to foam roll and stretch and do all that stuff, because we do drive a lot, even though we're staying here. But for example, we would go from one place to another, and we'll have to drive for like an hour or two to get there. So from the place where we stay in, actually, we had to drive 2 hours to get to this beach. And then again, we're gonna have to drive 2 hours to get back. A lot of driving, just kind of not overdoing the workout, just kind of making sure to not cause any tightness, because I do still have to get back home, which is another 24-hour drive. I will make a new video when I get back, just to let you know how things are on the drive back, because you know, like, you really never know with piriformis syndrome. And I am just so grateful that I'm able to get here and drive here without any pain It's been more than 4 years now that I've been maintaining this pain-free lifestyle, but I never take it for granted. And you know, a lot of people, when they start to feel pain-free, they just they stop doing everything that worked. They just stop doing it. And I think that's just a big mistake, because those things that work, that you have to keep doing. So I'm just sticking to what's been working for me and making sure, you know, to never take being pain-free for granted, because it can change anytime whenever you develop new imbalances. And you know, I use the programs that are available on my website. Like I use the routines myself to stay pain-free and also to fix any new imbalances. So thank you for watching. I hope these tips have been helpful, and I will see you guys in a new video very soon.